Hey everybody, how are you doing? So, you won't be able to see me today because I'm actually going to do two things. I'm actually going to show you how I set up a board, and what I'm going to also do is then do a ritual. So, I understand that while this is the Druid Circle, this presentation is brought to you by the Druid Order of BLEST Stone and Wood. So I'll wait till some more people join. This is going to be pretty important for those people who are interested in knowing what I do as a Druid and what we'll be doing in the Druid Order of BLEST Stone and Wood. So as you can see, what I do is, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I live in a very small apartment, and so we don't have much room. And as a result of that, we have to work with what we have. So we're going to begin. My name is Druid Nicholas Declan, founder of the Druid Circle, founder of the Druid Order of BLEST, BLEST, Stone and Wood, and Druid University. I also want to say that it's rather important to understand that if you're watching this on a watch party and you see the badge, the Druid Circle badge or Druid Order of BLEST, Stone and Wood badge, you could always ask questions, but also know that the watch parties never stay on live. The watch parties always get erased. So if you want to leave comments, always leave it in the live on Facebook. If you're watching it on YouTube, you could always leave comments in the YouTube channel, and then we'll go from there. Hopefully you'll enjoy this presentation, and you'll invite as many people so you could see that we're not all devil worshippers, whatever that means. Okay, so all right, let me begin. So the first thing I like to stick on the on at least what I do for daily ritual is a cloth, okay? And I thought that I'd buy a cloth that's pretty colorful for Mabon, okay? And it is actually, that orangey kind of color and whatnot. The next thing I want to show you is that I put on this in kind of a circular form. I put on this everything else that goes on this table. But before I do that, I always like to just kiss it, and that's about it. All right. So the first thing I want to stick here is the fire. Okay, a representation of the fire. It's sort of just a candle. And interestingly enough about this here, I have my convincing stones on it, one black and one white. The black one is on the white section, the white one is on the black section, to show that this is actually my wheel of the year that I use for this. So I'm going to place it exactly at the time of Mabon, which we're in right now, or Alvin Elephant. The next thing, okay, is I place the well for water. All right, and I'll place that over here, which is my little cauldron, okay, and I'll use that for water whenever I'm doing my ritual. All right, next. I'll place a representation of the earth, which is a rock. All right, and just move this up a little bit. All right, and then basically from there, what I'll do is I'll place the representation of air, which is basically an incenser. All right, and a feather. All right, and I'll place that here. Okay. The other thing I want to say is I use punks. For incense I use punks, and I light punks. This is actually cinnamon, so I thought that that'd be pretty festive. So I want to put that into the incenser. All right. There we go. All right. And then that's basically it. Now, I'm actually facing, right now I'm facing north. So I put the earth to north. I put the fire to south, I put the water to west, and I put the air to east. Okay? Alright. Next, I'll put my spells in between the water and the fire. I'll put a representation of the animals in between the water and the earth. I'll put bone. I have a real bone here in between the earth and the air. And then I'll put a crystal that I have, and I'll put that in between the air and the fire. Alright, now remember, there is no right way of doing this. You could do it any way you want, and I'm going to leave that up to you. This is just the way we set it up here at the Druid Order of Blessed Stone and Wood. Next, what I'll do is I'll put out my growl. And a growl is just simply a plate or paten and a cup or a chalice. And I'll put that here in center. Alright, and there we go. And that's basically the setup for that. Now I want to decorate. That's basically just the ritual part of it. The next thing I'm going to do is I want to put some other things on this table. And to just keep it festive, I have some dried leaves that I bought. Okay, and I'm just going to scatter them around. They're just fall leaves to kind of make it look fairly festive. Alright, got another one here. Alright, and that's that. So we put up some leaves, as you can see. Alright, the next thing I want to do is I want to put up my tabernacle, which represents the gateway between the other world and this world. Okay. I want to put my crane bag also up, and this is my crane bag here, and it has all my effects and relics in the crane bag. It's solid leather. It's pretty good, pretty nice. And I'll just put this up here. Alright. I also have my runestone, my omen. I have my omen, and I have my runestone on omen, and I'm going to put these up here as well. But I might put these up at the front, okay? Because I like to draw an omen during ritual at some point, if I feel the need to, or if I feel drawn to that. Next, I have some books that I always like to keep up on here, and these are my baby shoes. We used to bronze them a long time ago, and it has my name and all that. These are real shoes. So I'm going to put these guys over here, okay, and then I'm going to put all my chosen books in here as well. Alright, and I'll put them in between here, like so, and there we go. Alright, so far it's coming along pretty well, right? I don't know if you guys could see that. There we go. Alright, now next, what I want to do next is I want to put up a light in the back, and I found this pretty fascinating. I had a candle and made an intention, and obviously it came true, and I'm going to put that back here to light up the back corner, but we'll talk about light in just a second. Alright, I have a representation of Earth Mother and Time Father, okay, and I'm going to put them up as well. Earth Mother and Time Father. Alright, actually, I might do it like this today. for Mabon. Just put Earth Mother and Time Father together. And then I also have a representation of Man and Beast, which is the Druids and Kernunos. And I'm going to put them up here by my crane bag. Alright? And then I have a representation of myself. And this is my Druidic tetrachonomy that I always talk to you guys about, which is my heart, mind, soul, and spirit. And that's what I look like. At least that's what I think I look like. And this is called, as you see, no face, Heart of Gold. You always have my heart. So I'll put my my soul up. All right. Okay. What goes next? So what goes next is I have a basket of kind of like just earthy things, gourds. I'll put that up here. It's kind of cool, right? And I could move things up later too. I don't want to make it too junky or whatever. I have my Druid stone on petrified wood here, or Druid's egg, or Serpent's egg right here. And I can just put this over here. All right. All right. Now what we need to do is I want to add a representation of the Fae or Mysticals. So I have a little fairy or angel, whatever. And we'll have, let me put her, let me put her by Earth Mother and Time Father. Okay. All right. Also, I have the Norns. In each, I have a stone. I have 3 cups, past, present, and future. So I'll put them up. Let's do past, present, and future. These are the 3 Norns. Okay. And again, I put these up just because I'm inspired to do so. What else am I going to stick up? Yeah. Coffee beans. Okay, I'm going to stick them up and lay them down. Alright, what else do I want to put up? My ocarina. Alright, and I don't know if you guys know what an ocarina is, but I'll show you. Ocarina is an air instrument with holes. 4 on the top and 1 on the bottom, as you can see. That's just an ocarina. You guys could look that up and get them. They're all homemade by some bards that made them. Alright. Next. Alright, so I'm going to just put this, I'll just lay this here. Alright, next. Because this really will go into the crane bag. Actually, I am, just to save some room, I am going to put this into the crane bag, actually. Need that in just a second. Okay. Next. I wanted to say something about, well, let me just stick. Okay, so I have my, my cross. Okay, I'm going to stick my cross down. Okay, and since I do come from a Judeo-Christian background, I'm going to stick that up. Next, I don't have my patrons. I don't have my patron statues yet, who are Odin and Breed. But I will, as soon as I get them, then I'll put them next to the my Druidic tetrachonomy. I do have one patron who is Jude. I use Jude for impossible cases. I also have a Guatemalan worry doll to take my worries away, and I'll lay her here. So far it's looking really well, and it's coming along really nicely. Okay, next, I think we're coming to the end. I always have my salt next to my stone and my incense here, if I'm going to use an incenser, thurible. But I'm not going to be using that today. Okay, now we have lots of candles to put up, okay? And what I want to do is I want to stick them up at this point now. For the Norns, I'm going to put one candle up by each of the Norns, past, present, and future. Okay? I'm also going to put up 2 candles, one in front of the Fae, Time Father and Earth Mother, and one in front of the animals or the beasts and man, the Druids and Kernunos. And then what I want to do is I'm going to also stick up a candle in front of my literature to show a blend of to show basically a blend of gnosis and of gnosis, personal gnosis, and knowledge. I don't think you could have one without the other. I don't believe you could have one without the other. I think that both are important. It shouldn't be, so binary, either or. All right, next. I'm going to start putting in my front candles. Okay, I have 4 of them, 2. I have here 3 and 4. Okay, so it's looking fairly decently well, and it's going to be pretty beautiful when all lit up. All right, now I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the Slåttreakt. Okay, Druids don't necessarily use the Slåttreakt. Okay, but if they do, it's usually ceremonial. I like to keep it because this particular one is ceremonial. I'll just leave it here, but I'm not a Wiccan or a witch or anything like that who use the Slåttreakt primarily in a lot of their rituals. Druids tend to use their hands or body parts to make things happen. If we want to create fire, we shape fire. Alright, now, next. The other thing I want to talk to you guys about is holy water. And every season I make homemade holy water. This is a really good blend. And I don't like to keep holy water just clear. I like to keep holy water, with the exception of Ostara or spring. And in this case, we're making the water like a nice auburn color. And I'm going to stick this up here. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to need that to use for the ritual that we're about to do. All right. Next. I guess we're going to go ahead and light, and then I'm going to show you how we go ahead and how I go ahead and do all this. So this is the first part of the setup, and again, none of this you have to follow. None of this. This is just the way I do it, and the way the Blessed Order of Stone and Wood, Druid Order Blessed Stone and Wood will be doing it. Alright, next. Okay, so that's pretty much about it, and I don't like to light with a gas light. I like to light actually with a real match. So I'll start. Coming along really well. And I have the Norns left, and then that should be about it. And there you have it, everybody. That's the that's basically it. That's the way we have it. That's the table, the board, and there you go. Looks really nice. Looks pretty pleasant. And now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do a small. Basically do a small ritual. So we'll continue. All right, let's begin. If you have any questions, you could always ask in the comments. So I ground myself in the presence of the kindred, who are our deities, our mysticals, and our ancestors, in the sign of the most ancient cross, from north to south, and from east to west, a perfect offering will be made. May we have the honor to be wisdom to divine, and from divining to knowing, and from knowing to studying, from studying to understanding, from understanding to applying, from applying to creating, from creating to gauging, from gauging to helping, from helping to teaching, from teaching to healing, from healing to allowing, from allowing to freeing. Grant, O kindred, ye protection, and in ye protection ye strength, and in ye strength ye understanding, and in ye understanding ye knowledge, and in ye knowledge justice. Justice frees Druidic balance from the physical law of the heart, from the cosmic law of the soul, from the brand law of the mind, from the universal law of the spirit. there creates my Druidic tetrachonomy. Within the limits of my Druidic tetrachonomy livest the great law of four. Within the limits of my great law of four livest excellence. Within the limits of excellence livest perseverance. And in the peace of perseverance, the love of it. And in the love of it, the love of ourselves. And in the love of ourselves, the love of all existences. And in the love of all existences, the love ye give us as mortals. Ye whom are from Uther, the source. Ye whom are with Arthur, the force. Ye whom are of Connor, the course. In and of all absence, in and of all goodness, in and of all fullness, in and of all creation, in and of all realms, in and of all Gwynfit, Gira Alwyn. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and open up the Druid Circle. I call upon the lords and ladies of the West. I call upon the lords and ladies of the Northwest. I call upon the lords and ladies of the North. I call upon the lords and ladies of the Northeast. I call upon the lords and ladies of the East. I call upon the lords and ladies of the Southeast. I call upon the lords and ladies of the South. I call upon the lords and ladies of the Southwest. The Druid Circle is now open. We continue to celebrate Mabon, and as we continue to celebrate Mabon, we begin our consecration. We raise the fire as the Druid's wood. The encirclement of our sanctification shall not wither. Of the fire from the wicker, and uprising is our spirit, sanctifying within it all genuine hither. Pour the water as the Druid's wood, the encirclement of our protection shall not wither. Of the water from the sea, and uprising is our soul, protecting within it all genuine hither. We sprinkle the stone as the Druid's wood, the encirclement of our projection shall not wither. Of the salt from the earth, and uprising is our heart, projecting within it all genuine hither. We smudge the punk as the Druids would. The encirclement of our reflection shall not wither. Of the smoke from the air, and uprising is our mind, reflecting within it all genuine hither. And now we have our meditation. Equal day and equal night. Where do you need more balance? We proclaim the porter to be the sylph. We call upon them to open the portal between the other realms and our realm. Power within us freely flows as our Druid beyond us easily grows. Os Galitar Nagate. If there's a celebration, I would have that at this point if we had an event of some sort. The next part of then, after the event, we would then do a reading. We call the reading Leof. It just simply means reading. And we choose a reading that's relative to the holiday, which is Mabon. A reading by Thomas Dorsey McGee, the Celtae. Long, long ago, beyond the misty space of twice 1,000 years, in Erin old there dwelt a mighty race, taller than Roman spears. Like oaks and towers, they had a giant grace, were fleet as deers. With winds and waves they made their binding place, the western shepherd seers. The ocean god was Mananan Maklir, whose angry lips in their white foam full often would enter whole fleets of ships. Crum was their day god, and their thunderer made morning an eclipse. Breed was their queen of song, and unto her they prayed with fire-touched lips. Great were their acts, their passions, and their sports. With clay and stone they piled on Strath, and sure those mystic forts not yet undone. On cairn-crowned hills they held their council courts, while youths alone, with giant dogs, explored the elk's resorts and brought them down. Of these was Finn, the father of the bard, whose ancient song over the clamor of all change is heard, sweet-voiced and strong. Finn once o'ertook Granu, the golden-haired, the fleet and young. From her the lovely, and from him the feared, the primal poet sprung. Ocean, 2,000 years of mist and change surround thy name. Thy Finian heroes now no longer range the hills of fame. The very name of Finn and Gel sounds strange, yet thine the same. By mystical lake and desecrated grange remains and shall remain. The Druid's altar and the Druid's creed we scarce can trace. There is not left an undisputed deed of all of your race, save your majestic song, which hath their speed and strength and grace. In that soul song they live and love and bleed. It bears them on through space. Inspired giant shall we behold in our time, one fit to speak your spirit on the wold, or seize your rhyme. One pupil of the past is mighty souled as in the prime. Were the fond fair and beautiful and bold, they of your song sublime. After this is the Ahask, which basically means an address or homily. And the Druid at this point would usually lead that and talk about Mabon and the equinox and understanding the very essences of the core beliefs of balance. Knowing that even in our time and in my life, balance is not always easy. We don't always understand what we are being told to do, and sometimes we're asked to even leave one position to regain another simply and only to experience another side, another opinion, another way. And so as I continue to speak about this idea of balance, we seek it out, that this balance is sought after constantly, but only by way in which we can move forward. And the only way in which we can move forward is if we dismiss any and all things that we were taught to be true and reevaluate any and all of those positions. It isn't necessarily about giving up the old and only keeping the new, but keeping the old and allowing the new. And that when we have darkness and lightness blended together, not necessarily in one, but that in all of Heather, we understand that there are sprinkles of light within the dark and speckles of dark within the light, so that it is only possible to see the dark in the light and only the light in the dark. And that understanding magic as an energy is abundant, is great, is beyond. It is that which the source of your understanding provides for us in force, so that force can become that which energizes us to move along our course, our path, which will have ups and downs, lefts and rights, curves and straights. And that on this path we move forward and understand that, like the story we've heard, we hear the importance of different functions so that it can create a better world. This is the essence of Mabon. This is the essence of Al and Ev. This is the essence of the Celtae. We who are Druids honor the old and are prudent with the new. Now we move on to the Druid's Creed. I promise myself to be so strong that nothing can disturb my peace of mind, to talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person I meet, to make all my friends feel that there is something worthwhile in them, to look at the sunny side of everything and make my optimism come true, to think only of the best, to work only for the best, and to expect only the best, to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as I am about my own successes, to forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future, to wear a cheerful countenance at all times and give every living creature I meet a smile, to give so much time to improving myself that I have no time to criticize others, to be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble, to think well of myself and to proclaim this fact to the world, not in loud word, but in great deed, to live in the faith that the whole world is on my side, so long that as I am true to the best that is within me, to honor my procrastination, not as an excuse for due time, but as waiting on the right time to execute action from virtue, to know that my heart, soul, mind, and spirit are in sync with the kindred only when I am genuine with their comprehensive truth, to be unmovable in my ethics of worshiping God, doing all good, and remaining brave against those who oppose me and steadfast with those who support me, to see excellence as mastering a concept, not by knowing few ideas of many subjects, but by comprehending and practicing many ideas, creating the sum of that subject. At this time, we begin our liturgy. The word itself actually means worship of the gods. The air is going. The air conditioner is blowing. It's pretty hot here in Philly. It's like 90, so it gets pretty hot up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to light this candle again, but it's pretty wild. There we go. Hopefully that works. Just gonna let that sit for a second. There we go. All right. Here we go. By this flame we edify our worth as the Druids would shape it. We rise and are sanctified by this encompassment, guarding the earth, guarding our earth, guarding the Druid circle and truth within it. By this water we edify our birth, as the Druids would shape it. We rise and are protected by this encompassment, guarding the earth, guarding our earth, guarding the Druid circle and the truth within it. By this salt we edify our earth, as the Druids would shape it. We rise and are forecasted by this encompassment, guarding the earth, guarding our hearth, guarding the Druid circle and the truth within it. By this smoke we edify our earth, as the Druids would shape it. We rise and are reflected by this encompassment, guarding the earth, guarding our hearth, guarding the Druid circle and the truth within it. We are now in the season of Mabon, which is about a balance of light and darkness. Because of this, we request your presence by invocation and communicate our purpose with prayer. Hail Mabon, son of Mabon, exalted prisoner, reveal the hidden things, guide us through the path to that which is hidden and to memories long forgotten. Show us what lies beyond the castle wall. Send the blackbird to sing to us. Send the stag for us to chase. Send the owl for us to listen. Send the eagle for us to see. Send the salmon to tell us how to free and set free the hidden thing. O Mabon, hear our prayer. Breathe in the wind of the west, warm and sweet, breeze of the evening when the sun goes down on a beautiful day, wind that brings happiness, wind that brings sorrow, poignant wind of song and laughter, rippling wind like the river of tears and the sea of dreams, twilight wind that brings hope, whisper messages to us of love. Into your swirling vortex, caress us, breathe in and touch our hearts. At this point, we do the presentation of gifts. We honor ye kindred, and with the cry of the deer we holler. Let the fire be flame. Let the well be water. Shan't smog be smoke. Shan't drought be dirt. May our offering be acceptable. I offer you grapes of plenty, and pistachios. To open that which we have planted. And wine. Okay, at this point we make our intentions. Hail Kindred, we ask you to listen and respond to our prayers as you see appropriate to our Druidic tetrachonomy. I ask that in equal amounts of darkness we shall see equal amounts of light. Hail Kindred. I ask that in being in tune with the infinite we shall reap the rewards we have earned. Hail Kindred. I ask for those who are sick at this time, that they see their healing future. Hail Kindred. I ask that those that listen to my teachings, that they may see a better version of themselves tomorrow than they do today. Hail Kindred. I ask that those who have genuinely worked toward a goal, that their goal may be attained by their accomplished steps and acquired objectives. Hail Kindred. I ask that you guide our elected leaders in enhancing their awareness to do right action. Hail Kindred. Hail Breed. Hail Odin. At this point, we come to the end of our ceremony. Let all be in place as it was before. In the beginning shall be now, and wilt it be forever and ever, until we ask again. May all of us, true to the Druid circle, bring an end to what began. As you allowed the porter of the Sylph to bring you here, we now release you to the realms from which you have come to visit us. With the greatest of gratitude, we thank you for your presence. Bet shegobra est lemogui tase fior gira awin. At this point, I'm going to close the Druid circle. May you return, lords and ladies of the Southwest. May you return, lords and ladies of the South. May you return, lords and ladies of the Southeast. May you return, lords and ladies of the East. May you return, lords and ladies of the Northeast. May you return, lords and ladies of the North. May you return, lords and ladies of the Northeast, of the Northwest. And may you return, lords and ladies of the West. Duntar Nagate.